By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what pickleball grip to use, when to use it, and which grip may be the best for you. All right, first things first, we're gonna get into the serve. And for the serve, a lot of players, when they first start off, they are starting in that continental grip, that hammer grip. Now, you could definitely hit serves this way, consistently with a little bit of spin, but a lot of good players, what they do is they either use a slight Eastern or a full Eastern grip. Now, what this does is this closes the paddle face so that they can have a more vertical angle of attack and they can actually swing more up on the ball using that pronation to come across and get a little bit more spin. So I'm in a full Eastern grip here, and I'll show you one like that. Okay, so you can see, I know that one was a little bit short, but you can see I'm getting a little bit more up and down, and I can easily get that with my closed paddle face. Now, as on the extreme side, Elliot's gonna show us, he's a lefty, but he is serving in a full semi-Western grip. Now, there are some players that are serving in that kind of grip today. I wouldn't recommend this for players that are just starting out, but this is going to give you the max spin because your paddle face is going to be pretty closed at contact, and you can really accelerate upward through the ball, utilizing that really loose wrist. So go ahead, Elliot, hit a couple of those. Okay, one more. Okay, so you can see that with the semi-Western, again, that's a little extreme for me, but you can really get a lot of topspin with the semi-Western grip. All right, so now I wanna hop into the drive, and if you haven't noticed yet, the drive motion and the serve motion is the same. The only thing, I'm waiting the ball to bounce and get to me. So for that same reason, you'll see a lot of the top players today in that Eastern grip or slight Eastern grip. Again, this is so that they can get a lot of easy spin and also power through the ball as they take their ground strokes on their third shot drive. Okay, so all those were an Eastern grip. And again, with that spin, I could keep it fairly low to the net. And again, whether I am in more of a closed stance like this or I'm in an open stance, I'm still using that Eastern grip, and it's a very comfortable grip for me, again, to get that paddle more up and down like this without turning my wrist.
So just like the semi-Western serve, you can also use the same exact grip for the drive. The reason why I would want to do that is because you get the same amount of spin as you do in the serve. So you're going to get a lot of top spin. It's going to have a lot of dip and a lot of action.
So before we talk about the grips that you should be using here in the transition zone, if you want a free resource that we made, just check out pickleballframework.com or use your phone to scan the QR code below. All right, so now let's talk about when you're in the transition zone. Whether you are transitioning up as a serving team or you're playing defense and you got pushed back as the returning team, it's really important here that we pick a grip that we could easily reset in, because in this transition zone, we are going to get balls that we're gonna have to reset and that are low to our feet. So I do recommend the continental grip for most players. And in this grip, I can actually open up to my forehand really easily and get this paddle face open. And I could also open up to my backhand. Again, when I'm getting hit a lot of balls at my feet, I'm gonna be digging a lot of them with this backhand. So it's really important that I have this neutral continental grip to control that. All right, so now that we're at the non-volley zone line, I wanna talk about dinks. All right, there's a lot of different variety of dinks that you can hit: topspin, underspin, flat, shovel dinks. I really wanna talk about when you're getting under the ball, primarily right here. So when the ball is really low and I have to get under it, I'm probably not hitting topspin. So for balls that I'm trying to get under, or I may be hitting a little bit of slice, I actually prefer a continental grip. So whether you're in a continental or very slight Eastern, these are the two grips that are really good for balls that you have to get under the ball. Okay, so I'm gonna hit a couple of dinks here, and actually Elliot, you can hit me forehand or backhand side.
Okay.
And these are balls that are actually bouncing.
Okay.
So here we go. Okay, so that's more like a shovel there. That's a little lift. So all these balls here, I'm either slicing a little bit like that, or I'm coming under and I'm lifting. And this continental grip helps me open up that paddle face and allows me to have a very consistent stroke. Now, when it comes to topspin, particularly on the forehand side, this is where having more of a slight Eastern to a full Eastern grip on the forehand can help you and allow you to close that paddle face more, so that when you're brushing up on the ball, that helps with the topspin. Elliot's gonna hit me a couple of short dinks to my forehand, and I'm gonna show you kind of how I am hitting this topspin dink in more of an Eastern grip. Okay, so again, this is on the forehand side, and this allows me to get down, drop that paddle head, and from this position in that Eastern grip, it is more closed at contact, and I can really brush up on the ball a lot easier than if I was in continental. Now that we talked about topspin dinks on the forehand side, I'm going to now talk about out of the air offense at the non-volley zone line. So because that Eastern grip actually helps me get that easier vertical motion when I am attacking out of the air, being in a good Eastern grip can help as well. So I'm gonna drop my paddle down like this, and whether I'm swinging up same side like this, or I'm pronating and coming across, the Eastern grip really helps me get that paddle face a little bit more close. So Elliot's gonna feed me a couple balls here. That's that same side finish there. And then if I have to pronate and come over, I'm going to be doing that. But again, specifically on the forehand side, when we talk about offense, whether it's topspin dinks or out of the air, that Eastern grip is a good grip to practice in. Now we talked about topspin dinks and also out of the air attacks. Now I want to talk about off the bounce attacks. So this could be your fourth shot when that opponent is dropping their third shot in the non-volley zone, or it could be just a speed up from a dead dink. All right, again, you guessed it, the Eastern grip is a grip that a lot of the players use. Again, slight Eastern to that Eastern is a really good one that they speed up and utilize that grip to create that spin to actually dip it in the court. So if I get a dead dink here, I'm gonna create that space and I'm gonna use that Eastern grip to actually speed up the ball. One more here, Elliot. Okay, so again, that's like getting that dead dink and then me using that pronation. And again, as you're learning this game and as you're learning how to apply more offense, experimenting with these different grips is definitely something that you can do. And that is what I recommend primarily with speed ups off of the bounce on the forehand, that slide Eastern or a full Eastern grip.
All right, now let's talk about what grips you want to be using when counterattacking. So generally, a backhand counter is going to be a lot easier if you're in the continental grip. The paddle face is already facing down for you, so you don't have to do any extra work trying to get that ball at their feet. So for forehand counters, I like to be in an Eastern grip. It allows me to open up on my forehand a lot easier than in continental. The reason is because if I'm in continental, I have to turn my wrist so much further to get this to open up. While in Eastern, it's a lot easier to face your paddle at your opponents.
All right, now that we talked about the drive, I want to quickly talk about your drops, okay? So for the drop, if you're just coming under it and you're hitting a push drop or maybe a slice drop, I would recommend continental grip. This is because it can just easily open up that paddle face on the forehand and also the backhand side. Especially on the backhand, the continental grip is a really good one because it allows you to open up that paddle face and your wrist you could keep stable through the shot. Now when it comes to topspin on your drops, especially on the forehand side, the slight Eastern or the Eastern grip is preferred. This grip allows you to close that paddle face a little bit, and as you are trying to get that vertical swing motion, the Eastern grip allows you to do that a lot easier than when you're in continental.